Well, I've got quite a few of these box files now that we don't use because most of the stuff we use now is electronic. And some of them are in a bit of disrepair, so they would normally go in the bin. Well, I don't want to throw them away because I think they're going to make some great storage for my things for making jewellery. Now, this one here, not in great condition. So what I'm going to do is I've got some of this, it's material tape really. It's designed for books. When you do the spines of book covers and things like that. I do use it sometimes, but not very often. But what I've found it is very robust. But I mean, you could use normal tape for this or whatever you've got if you're in a similar situation. Now, you can pick these boxes up, sometimes free at things like car boot sales or jumble sales. But if they're not free, then they're normally about 25 pence, which is about 30 cents. So you can get them really, really cheaply. So that's kind of mended that side, but I also want to do it this side as well. And now that'll hold on there for a long, long time. The other thing I don't want in them is I don't want these clips. I want those to be gone. So I'm just going to remove those using brute force. So a little bit of brute force here, and that should come off. Yep, there we go. And then I should be able to get my little hammer and knock these through like that, and then pull them right through this side. And that's those gone. And I'll show you why I want those gone in a moment. Now I'm going to decorate this up because they shut and clip together now. So you've got a nice lid on it. Plus you've got these bits here that you can use to pull it out when you want to use it. Because I'm not going to use it storing it like that. What I'm going to do is storing it like this. So I can put stuff in here. And the first thing I need to do is I'm going to paint it. I'm not going to rub it down or do too much with it, but I'm going to paint the outside of this because I think it's going to look nicer. And then I can actually put stencils and things like that on it. Now I want to paint this with a chalk paint. And I make my own chalk paint. It's too easy not to. And it saves you a lot of money. And all I use for that is house paint. So I'll open my house paint because this is much cheaper than using acrylic paint. I've got a jar and I'm going to pour some in there. Now I've got white house paint here, so I'm going to use a pigment in this. And this is the pigment I'm going to be using. It's a paint pigment and it's great. It comes in lots of different colours and you don't need too much. It's quite concentrated. I will list it in the description below so you can get hold of it. You need to make sure you give it a really good mix because if not you'll have bits all different. But look at that. It's come out a lovely colour. So I'm going to put a bit more in because I think it needs a bit more. I don't want it as pale as that. But that should be enough. And give that a good mix in. And now we've got a really nice colour there. We can make it as dark as we like. But I really like that. That's what I was looking for, pale colour. And now we need to turn this into chalk paint. And that couldn't be easier either. What I've got here is some calcium carbonate. And this is brilliant for chalk paint. And this whole bag costs next to nothing. Honestly, it gives you such a great result. Be careful, it's a powder, so you don't want to be breathing this in. And what I normally do is quite a concentrated amount of this. I don't have any specific measurements, but I would say I'm doing at least a 1-to-1 maybe. No, I know a pot about that size will turn that chalk paint into a really good chalk paint, but you don't want to be putting it in like that because not only will that really thicken that paint, but you'll have a job getting this mixed in. So what I do is I will water that down and turn that into a paste first because that way I can get rid of any lumps and I can get a much more even distribution. I can get that lovely and smooth. Look at that, so much easier to do it in here. I may add a little bit more this powder to it, I think. There, yeah, that's better. It's a little bit thicker now. I just want to get it lovely and smooth and get rid of all those lumps. There we go, that's lovely and smooth and got rid of all those lumps. Now I'm going to pour that in there. I know there's lots of recipes online for making chalk paint, but to be honest, this is the best one. This is without a doubt, I think, the best recipe. It gives the best result and it makes a proper chalk paint rather than using things like baking soda and flour and all that sort of thing. They don't make chalk paint. Okay, so what I've got now is that in there. I can put my lid on. And now I can give this a shake and mix this up. And then we'll have a lovely chalk paint. So now I've got that all done, what I'm going to do is start to paint it. And as you can see, this is giving a great coverage. And chalk paint does give a great coverage. So I should paint this both inside and out. Ready to do the next stage on it. that I'm really looking forward to. So while that's drying now, it shouldn't take long. What I'm going to do is make myself some boxes to put inside as storage. Now, all I did was found a box on my Cricut and used the drawer function to create this. And I'm going to make these boxes out of Amazon card that they use when they send stuff through Amazon. And you can use old boxes for this. You could use whatever you like. So I'm going to quickly cut my pattern out. And then I'll show you how I'm going to make that. Well, I've cut my templates out. I changed my mind and used a different template. And they're really easy. I cut them out on the Cricut, to be honest, because it's so much easier and more accurate. But if you don't have a Cricut, there's hundreds of templates with boxes with lids on the internet that you can download for free. And this is what the boxes look like once they're done. And the lid will fit on there. And all I'll use is PVA glue to glue these up. And then they'll be nice and firm. Well, this is all lovely and dry now, and my boxes are all put together and they're drying really well. All I need to do now is put the label on here of what's in here, and I'm going to put jewelries and beads in, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to label my boxes as well, which makes life so much easier. I'll show you that in a second. I've cut this out on my Cricut, but if you don't have a Cricut, like I said, you could always write it on or paint it on however you want. I forgot to say that before I go ahead and put my stickers on, what I'm going to do is quickly give this a coat of satin varnish, because that way if it marks or anything, I can just use a damp cloth to wipe it off. It should wipe off really easily, and it will get marked because I'm messy. Look, I've got that all over my hands already. It won't take long to dry, a few minutes to dry. This probably be dry in about 20 minutes. Well, everything's finished now. All my boxes are made and everything's on me other box. And all I have to do is label these up, and this is how I'm going to label them up. What I've done is I've printed out pictures on just normal paper of everything that I'm going to keep in these particular boxes. So when I go to pick a box out of the box, it is so easy for me then to know what it is I'm going to be using. I'm going to stick these on with this double-sided tape, because then if I change my mind and want to remove it, I can. So all the boxes will have their own little photograph on, which makes it so much easier when you're looking at something to think, oh, I know exactly what's in there. I just took those photographs on my phone and printed them on normal paper. Look at that. Ideal. So I'm going to finish these off and then I'll show you what it all looks like put together. It's all finished now. I'm really, really pleased with it. It's going to fit in my cupboard lovely. I can make several of them and stack them up, and I always know what's in them. And then I can open the lid. I can look at it like this and think, I want some of these out, and I know exactly what I've got in there because I've got a picture on the lid. Pictures speak 1,000 words, that's for sure. The space in there, I didn't make the boxes any larger because I want space in there to be able to easily get my hands in and get them out. I didn't want to have to be squeezing them out. I hope you've enjoyed this project. I have loved doing this project. I love upcycling something as well where I know that it's going to be really, really useful, save me some money, and also prevent something going into landfill. Check out my other upcycling projects as well. I'll link one at the end of this one. I'll link everything that I've used in the description below. Boom that like button, hit that subscribe button, but most of all, enjoy your crafting and your upcycling. Take care, bye.